Simulators are used extensively in this book to provide you with a virtual laboratory. They provide an interactive and visually dynamic experience which reduces the number of static graphs and data tables needed to explain a concept. There are two types of simulators in the book. One type is referred to as a time domain simulator. The other is a complex plane simulator called a root locus plotter. This movie only describes how to use the time domain simulators. Each time domain simulator is presented as an XY graph. The Y, or vertical axis, lists the values of a dependent variable. The X, or horizontal axis, lists the values of time. In the upper right corner is the graph's label. It shows the subject in red at the top, the type of input function, and the variables that can be adjusted using the sliders. On the upper left is a color-coded legend to identify plotted variables. In the upper center, a schematic or an equation of the system being studied is provided. There are two types of interactive elements on the simulators: buttons and sliders. Buttons are used to start a numeric solution, button labeled numeric, plot an exact solution, button labeled exact, and clear the board and reset sliders to default values, button labeled reset. Sliders are used to set values of variables and coefficients. To the right of these sliders, there may be labels that show values of combined slider values. The label values are dynamic and update as the sliders are adjusted. On some sliders, dynamic values of variables are also shown on the legend. Keep in mind that pressing the reset button resets the sliders to their default values and erases the plotting area. Pressing the numeric button erases the plots but does not reset the slider values. So the numeric button can be pressed again after slider values are changed. Pressing the exact button plots the solution but does not erase previous exact plots. This allows you to visually study the effects of varying slider values. An introduction to the root locus simulators is provided in Chapter 6, Section 3.